Welcome back to Sleepy Palm Island. Tonight, on a quiet balcony above the lagoon, before you a wide and endless view unfolds. The volcano resting in silence, the village lights shimmering like stars on the earth, the Milky Way flowing overhead in silver calm. A candle glows softly beside 2 cups of tea, its light swaying with the warm night air. Palms rustle around you, carrying the scent of sea and herbs, while the distant bay murmurs in a steady hush. So get comfortable, pull a blanket close, and let's drift into tonight's story. The wooden balcony opens outward. Wood holds the warmth of the day, a soft grain beneath the fingertips. The railing smooth in some places, rough in others, carrying years of touch and weather. A candle rests at the center of the low table. Its flame bends, rises, bends again. Shadows stretch across the floor, reaching toward the couches, pulling back, reaching again. The lantern sways above. Its glow circles across the beams, a soft gold halo against the ceiling. It creaks gently in the night air. Beyond the railing, the bay lies open, water still with a faint silver shimmer. Small boats drift, their lights sliding over the dark surface. The lights stretch, then break, then gather again as the water shifts. Across the bay, a scatter of houses glows, each window a star, each cluster a constellation on the earth. The village sleeps, yet breathes in quiet rhythm. Above everything, the volcano rises, a dark silhouette, its slopes merging with the night sky. At its crown, the stars gather. The Milky Way pours over it, spilling like a river of pale fire. It curves from horizon to horizon, endless and calm. Palm trees lean close around the balcony. Leaves murmur in the warm air. The sound is soft, never hurried, like the breathing of the night itself. The breeze carries the scent of sea salt, a taste of distance, a trace of far shores unseen. On the table 2 cups wait. The steam has thinned, yet the air above them still carries a note of citrus, a thread of herbs. It mingles with the sweetness of candle wax. Together, the scents weave into something warm, something homelike. The couch holds its shape softly, cushions sinking with the weight of rest. A blanket rests folded on the side, its threads catching the lantern glow. The fabric promises warmth. It waits for shoulders, for stillness, for the slow breathing of someone leaning back into it. The candle flickers. A drop of wax gathers, pauses, slides downward. It cools into shape as it falls, silent, unhurried. Another drop forms. The flame breathes. The light bends. The night deepens. Sounds scatter into it. The hush of distant water, the lantern creak, the whisper of palms. They drift together, layering like waves, each one fading, each one returning. A rhythm without urgency, a rhythm that feels endless. The volcano remains still. The bay holds its lights, the stars stretch without end, and the balcony, this wooden space of warmth, of softness, becomes its own island, above the world. Breath settles into a gentle shore, shoulders soften, weight drifts deeper into the cushions, held and welcomed. A slow exhale hums through the chest, quiet as night water. Fabric lifts, tea blanket draws over knees and thighs, a hush of threads sliding on skin. Heat gathers under it, tender and close. Hands rest at the edge of the fold, fingertips brushing a fringe, finding its patient rhythm. A cup rises. Porcelain meets palms with a calm glow of warmth. Steam grazes the lips, a whisper of green brightness, a soft hint of citrus peel. One sip, the tongue relaxes, the throat opens, comfort moves inward like a small lantern in a long hallway. The world outside keeps its unhurried pulse. Somewhere below, a single ripple answers a distant shore. Somewhere nearby, wings tremble once, twice, then disappear into blue shadow. In the rafters, a thread of sound turns, quiet wood speaking to the night in a low circle. Breath again. Inhale through the nose, the air smooth and salted. Exhale through parted lips, slower now, as if the evening itself were breathing with you. Another sip, no rush. Heat settles low in the belly, spreading with a gentle glow. Light deepens. Across the table, a small fire leans and straightens, carving a path through the air with gold. On the floor, lines move and blur, long shapes folding into each other, then easing apart. Leaves nearby collect that glow and give it back in soft pulses. Fingertips explore the grain beneath the wrist, a tiny ridge, a knot smoothed by years. The surface tells a story with no words, only quiet ridges and patient valleys. Far away, two lights glide across water, unhurried travelers making their way toward an unseen cove. Their reflections stretch, shiver, gather again, a slow dance of silver threads. The mind follows that pace and loosens around its edges. Another breath. The cup returns to the table with a sound almost too small to hold. Palms rub once, a muted circle of heat, then rest open upon the lap. The heart listens and finds an easy beat. Above, the hanging glow turns on its cord. A soft wheel of amber drifts across the beams, falling into corners, returning to center, each turn a lullaby. A single night bird calls from the dark slope. The note is round and blue, rising, settling, leaving a peaceful echo in its wake. Silence gathers it gently and lays it down with the others. Another sip, eyes half closed. The drink has cooled to a perfect calm, its brightness now round and friendly. Breath meets it, carries it inward, anchors the body to this quiet hour. One hand traces the edge of a cushion. Threads weave under the nails, soft hills and gentle roads. A seam travels outward like a path found by feet that trust the ground. Heat from the small flame strokes the cheeks. Shadows shape the knuckles, then drift away again. Wax becomes a clear bead, waits and slips downward in patient silence. The mountain holds the sky with serene certainty. a presence more felt than seen. Its long shoulders carry the quiet of ages, and that quiet pours into everything. From the water, a low hush rises and returns, time to nothing but itself. It reaches the balcony like a promise kept and kept again, a breath, another. Eyes travel the line where dark meets darker, where a soft band of stars lifts like a veil. The body understands without words. The cup is empty now. It rests upon its small circle, warm to the touch, edged with a faint ring of light. Fingers cradle it for a moment longer, as if holding a sleeping bird. A hand finds the blanket once more. Knees draw closer. The spine releases vertebra by vertebra into a deeper, kinder curve. Neck loosens, jaw softens. Overhead, the gentle arc of the turning light slows. Wood remembers every evening like this one and welcomes this one completely. A boat shifts course. Its glow slides along a line you cannot see, then vanishes behind a shoulder of land, leaving the water to its own silver breathing. Coolness brushes ankles, a passing current of air. It meets the warmth under the blanket and becomes balance. Somewhere in the plants, a small shape stirs and becomes still again. Leaves return to their listening. The tabletop carries the soft map of light. An island of gold edged with night blue. Within it, small constellations of dust drift slowly, bright for an instant, then gone. Breath lengthens, count without numbers. Feel the wave rise in the chest, crest at the collarbones, and flow out through the ribs, quiet and easy. The hanging glow makes a final gentle turn, then rests. Rafters take on a deeper amber, as if honey were sleeping inside the wood. A single insect sings near the threshold, a thin silver thread that fades into the larger hush. Eyes close briefly and open to a softer world. Edges blur, shapes melt into each other. Everything leans toward rest. Fingers wander to the rail and find a cool spot where night has gathered. The touch is grounding. The body knows where it is, and where it is feels safe. A memory rises without story, only the sense of walking barefoot at dusk, damp earth under heel and toe, a sky that understands. It passes like a cloud with no weight. The cup waits, cooling. A tiny ring of mist dries on the wood, then disappears. Time moves the way a tide moves beneath a sleeping boat. Breath again. Let the ribs widen. Let the shoulders grow heavy and wonderfully far away. Somewhere in the valley, a soft bell answers the hour. Only once. The sound drifts upward, finds the open air, and dissolves into velvet. The small flame lowers its bright crown. Edges grow round. Light sinks closer to the table, gathering itself in a gentle pool. Blanket to shoulder, cheek to fabric. The weave smells faintly of sun and air, held from an afternoon that lingers kindly. An owl passes, unseen. Air parts around wings and closes again, seamless as water. The mountain remains, The sky carries its slow river. All motion obeys a simple kindness. Hands fold together, thumbs touch and rest. The mind watches the touch and relaxes even more. The breath now is a tide with long, quiet reaches. In, hold, out. The body follows, eyes lower. The world shapes dim to a soft pattern of gold and deep blue. Even the thoughts prefer silence to speaking. A thin thread of fragrance rises from melting wax, sweet and clean. It drifts into the air and settles like a calm upon the chest. Somewhere far across the water, a last spark begins its journey along the shoreline. It moves with patient certainty, a traveler who knows the way by feel. Fabric shifts under the knees. The cushion exhales softly. Weight is welcomed deeper, wrapped and held. The cup lies quiet, empty and warm. A palm rests beside it, feeling the faint heat stored in the wood. A slow smile that belongs to no one in particular passes through the body. It stays without needing a name. The night gathers everything closer. Every small sound finds its place. Every breath fits inside another breath. Light sinks lower still. Shadows link hands and sway and become a single, gentle field. The hanging glow hums once, barely a sound at all, then floats in perfect stillness. Eyes close again. Behind them a soft blue appears, the kind that belongs to quiet bays and peaceful hours. Within that blue, flecks of pale gold drift like tiny seeds finding good soil. Hands release, jaw loosens a final notch, tongue rests like a leaf on calm water. The wave of breath travels farther each time. It reaches the ankles, it returns to the chest, it carries a warm hush to the forehead and leaves it there. Outside, an unseen current changes and the air grows even gentler. Inside, everything answers. A last glow from the small fire leans forward and kisses the rim of the cup. Then it draws back, serene and satisfied. Pulse and tide meet and recognize each other. They move together in one slow dance. Nothing asks to be different. Everything belongs to this hour. Hands curl under the blanket. Feet find a soft corner and rest there. A deep, kind heaviness spreads, rich as warm sand. The traveler on the water reaches an invisible turn and fades from view. The path it leaves behind remains in the mind like a silver line of ease. Breath opens and opens, then drifts back as if the sea were sleeping inside the lungs. The small fire grows rounder, dimmer, closer to its quiet center. The ceiling beams keep their honeyed glow, then drift toward amber dusk. The cushion lifts the chest a fraction with each inhale and lowers it with each exhale, a cradle knowing its work. No edges now, only softness and gentle weight, only the friendly hush that stretches between heartbeats. The mountain is an ancient lullaby, the water is a wide bed. The sky is a light blanket spread from ridge to ridge. The body takes the hint. The breath slows again. A warm ripple passes from the crown of the head to the soles and back. as if the night were smoothing the fur of a quiet animal. Words become distant shorelights, seen but not needed. Eyes drift closed without effort. A slow drift inward begins, sweet and sure. The glow settles. The hush expands. The island of wood carries the sleeper as gently as a boat on evening tide. The boat rocks softly on its hidden current. The air folds over itself, warmer near the chest, cooler at the edges of the room. A pulse moves down the arms, steady, even without demand. It reaches the fingertips and stays there, humming quietly. The flame bends closer to the wick. Its light thins, softer, more secret. Wax curves inward, a shallow pool of gold. The air accepts it, carries its sweetness, and lays it gently across the skin. Breath opens again. The lungs stretch like slow sails, rising on a tide no one can see. The body yields to that rhythm, nothing else to hold. A hum from the earth below comes through the floor. It is faint yet present, like the memory of thunder in the bones. It comforts, as if the ground itself were promising to remain. Blanket rises with the chest, falls with the exhale. Fabric presses softly against the collarbone, patient and warm. One hand slides further beneath it, fingers loosening, palm cooling. Outside, stars lean nearer. They scatter across the dark field with a tenderness that asks for nothing. Each one a quiet witness, each one a keeper of long silence. The sound of the bay carries upward. Its voice is rounded, low, without edge. A single ripple folds into another, disappears, returns, endless, uncounted. The flame shrinks again. It sways once, twice, and steadies. A bead of wax falls, joins the rest, and hardens into stillness. Breath slows to meet it. In, a pause, out. And the pause grows longer each time. The couch deepens beneath the weight. Its shape shifts to cradle every curve until there is no distance between body and cushion. Air moves across the lips, so gentle it feels like velvet. The tongue rests heavy, the jaw loose, the teeth no longer touching. Far across the slope, a night voice rises, soft, low, like a single word spoken into water. It fades before it can echo. The silence after is wider than before. The lantern above gives the smallest sigh. Its glow remains, but its movement has ceased. It holds its place as if the whole night were leaning upon it. The chest rises once more. It lowers with the same rhythm. The belly follows, slower still. Shadows stretch further, their edges melting into each other until nothing divides them. All becomes one field of dark, rich, quiet. The eyelids weigh more heavily. They press downward, carrying the body deeper. No resistance left. Breath continues, but now it drifts, untethered. Each inhale fades before it is fully known. Each exhale lingers longer than the one before. A faint shimmer passes across the mind, light without form, sound without note. It dissolves before it can be remembered. The flame folds inward, smaller, rounder, slower. Its glow touches only the table now. Everywhere else, the night has gathered. The shoulders descend, the arms release. The hands lie where they have fallen, at peace, unmoving. The pulse softens in the wrists, then in the ankles. It slows to a rhythm that belongs to dream. The air in the room grows still. It waits like water at dawn, waiting for the first ripple. The eyelids close fully. Behind them, only colorless warmth remains. The flame bows once more. It settles. It disappears into its own quiet, and the night holds everything, and the breath follows, and nothing more is needed. The stillness deepens. It folds in layers, each softer than the last, each one wrapping closer. Every edge dissolves as if time itself were loosening its grip. Moments slip into one another, seamless like mist over water. Breath drifts low. It moves without effort, guided by something larger, something hidden yet certain. The chest rises like a tide almost forgotten and sinks with the same ancient ease. Every inhale is lighter, every exhale more complete. Muscles unravel, the neck releases, the shoulders sink, the arms become rivers flowing back into the body. The spine eases into curves that no longer hold weight. The legs lengthen in their rest, heavy and kind. Above, the air carries a hush. It hums in silence as though filled with secret songs too delicate to be heard. That hum touches the skin, flows inward, and becomes part of the blood. Eyes float behind closed lids. They drift like boats in harbor, untied, swaying only with the faintest current. Colors shift within them, blues, grays, soft golds, without name, without need. Somewhere beyond, stars continue their endless watching. They shimmer faintly, then fold back into darkness, then shimmer again. Their rhythm is slower than thought, their patience greater than memory. The ground itself feels near, a presence beneath the floor, beneath the wood, beneath the hill. It holds everything steady, unmoving, unbroken. That certainty seeps upward through bones, through veins, through marrow. The body takes it in, the mind drifts away. Only sensation remains, warm and vast, endless in its quiet. Air moves across lips. It enters gently, as though it were placing a kiss upon the breath. It leaves with no weight, nothing left behind but peace. The world outside slides further from reach. Shapes fade, sounds stretch into distance. Even the faintest light becomes memory. A pulse continues, slow and sure. It beats once, it beats again with more space between. Each beat softer than the last, each one a bell heard from far away. Fingers rest, no longer aware of themselves. Palms open, receptive like soil after rain. Feet no longer feel their own outline. They sink, they float, they vanish into warmth. Time unravels. What was a second becomes a wave. What was a minute becomes a sea. What was an hour becomes the whole night, and the whole night belongs to rest. thoughts scatter. They lift like feathers caught in a draught, rising higher, thinner, lighter. One by one they vanish into the dark sky of the mind. No trace remains. The breath deepens again, not heavy, not labored, only endless in its calm. Inside, silence spreads. It fills the spaces once crowded with words. It fills the spaces once crowded with effort. Now only openness, vast and kind. A warmth glows behind the heart. It radiates outward, slow, circular, infinite. It touches the arms, the hands, the throat, the face. It touches the legs, the feet, the crown of the head. It touches the very edges of awareness, then flows beyond them. The body becomes a shore where waves arrive, touch, and leave again. Every wave smaller, every wave quieter, every wave closer to stillness. The chest rises, it falls, it waits in the pause, long, delicious, infinite. Within that pause, the self unthreads. Identity loosens like rope slipping from a post, drifting free, floating with no destination. Dreams begin their arrival. They do not come as images yet. They come as textures, as feelings, as wide horizons with no names. A vast meadow of possibility waiting just beyond the veil. The air thickens into velvet. It lays itself over the skin, the mind, the heart. It smooths away the last lines of the day. It holds the sleeper in its generous palm. The pulse slows again. It spreads through the body in long sweeping arcs. Each arc wider, each arc slower, each arc deeper. The body no longer cares for boundaries. It no longer knows where skin ends and night begins. It is all one, all unified, all quiet. Breath becomes faint. It arrives like a whisper. It departs like a sigh. The body rests between, suspended, effortless. Stars above continue their dance, unseen but certain. Their light reaches down through the air, through the wood, through the skin, into the dream. The mountain stands silent, watching, holding its ancient stillness. That stillness passes into the sleeper, and the sleeper becomes part of it. Every part of the world agrees, this is rest, this is surrender, this is the kind night was made for. No sound now, only the memory of sound. No light now, only the memory of light. And even those memories soften, they sink, they dissolve, they vanish into the ocean of sleep. The breath follows them, the heart follows them, the mind follows them, until nothing remains but silence, endless, tender, deep. Sleep. Sleep stretches outward. It spreads like water flowing into every hollow. It fills the body with weightless depth. It carries the mind into places that ask nothing, demand nothing, promise only rest. Breath lies hidden, moving with the faintest current. It touches the chest like silk pulled by unseen hands. Inhale, exhale. The pattern no longer belongs to effort, only to the rhythm of night itself. Muscles no longer remember tension. They loosen completely, unwinding into space. Neck, shoulders, arms, chest. Each one dissolves into warmth. The spine rests like a quiet river stone, heavy, unmoving, embraced by time. Darkness grows softer. It has texture now, velvet, down, mist, everything at once. It presses gently against closed lids, inviting them deeper into their own calm. The body accepts, slipping further beneath. Thoughts have become fragments. They flicker once, faint and small, then vanish before shaping themselves. No beginning, no middle, no end, only fragments turning to dust, dust turning to silence. The silence itself begins to hum, not as sound, but as a presence. It rises around the body, through the body, beyond the body. It holds everything steady. Inside, warmth coils in the center. It is not flame, not breath, not memory. It is a simple glow, circular, eternal, without name. It drifts outward in waves that calm everything they touch. One wave reaches the arms, another wave reaches the legs, another wave reaches the crown of the head, then flows into the night beyond. The waves continue, endless, invisible, certain. Every corner of being smooths, every edge dissolves, every distance collapses into closeness. Breath lowers again. It becomes a tide almost too gentle to notice. It remains steady, infinite, soft as feathers falling in a darkened room. The heartbeat slows. It spreads wide, each beat like a bell tolling beneath the ocean. Far apart, resonant, full. Each one lingers until it becomes part of the silence. Lids close tighter, no flicker of light behind them, only dark blue, only endless drifting. The body drapes itself deeper into its resting shape, arms slack, fingers half curled without thought, feet relaxed, toes pointing into stillness. The weight grows pleasant, grounding, total. The hum of silence turns to a kind of embrace. It wraps above and below, inside and out. It is impossible to tell where silence ends and the body begins. They are the same now. Somewhere far away, the faintest glimmer appears. It is not seen, only sensed, like light beyond the edge of the mind. It does not move closer, does not move away. It waits, timeless. The breath follows it. The breath merges with it. The breath becomes it. The glow behind the heart widens. It no longer belongs only to the body. It belongs to everything, and everything rests within it. Sleep grows heavier yet lighter at the same time, heavier in body, lighter in mind. A perfect balance where nothing disturbs. Time unwinds further. Seconds no longer exist, minutes no longer exist. There is only one endless wave rolling without beginning or end. The wave carries dreams. They form like mist on the horizon. They drift closer, unhurried, soft-edged, formless. They wait to unfold in silence. The body is ready. The mind is ready. The night is ready. The tide of sleep takes everything deeper, deeper into stillness, deeper into silence, deeper into peace. Breath vanishes into rhythm. Heartbeat vanishes into rhythm. Even thought vanishes into rhythm. Only the glow remains. Only the vastness remains. Only the quiet remains. It widens. It deepens. It becomes infinite. Sleep now holds everything. Sleep carries everything. Sleep is everything. And in that everything, nothing stirs, nothing rises, nothing falls. Only stillness, only vastness, only peace. Forever drifts without measure. It stretches outward like a horizon with no end. It holds everything in a cradle of dark velvet. It rocks slowly, soundlessly, carrying weight and lightness at the same time. Breath is no longer breath. It is a current. It is the movement of unseen tides flowing in and flowing out. Each swell softer, wider, longer. The body lies within it, weightless. No boundary is felt. Skin is forgotten, form is forgotten. Only the sensation of floating remains. The floating turns slower. It drifts lower. It slides beneath thought and further beneath memory. It falls into depths that welcome without question. In those depths, silence thickens. It is warm, not cold. It is endless, not empty. It is alive, holding everything like soil holds seed. A pulse still hums somewhere far away, but it no longer belongs to the chest. It belongs to the world itself. The sleeper and the world share the same rhythm. The rhythm softens. The rhythm widens. The rhythm spreads into stillness. And within stillness, sparks begin to glow. Not sharp, not sudden. Soft spheres of pale light, drifting like dust in deep water. They gather slowly, without pattern. They hover, they shine, they fade, they return. They are not seen with eyes. They are felt in the marrow. Each light carries warmth. Each light carries rest. Each light carries a dream not yet born. Dreams move closer. They float in silence, carried on invisible hands. They open like petals in darkness, layer upon layer. They breathe themselves alive without effort. The body receives them. The mind does not question. They arrive as sensation, as color, as drifting weight. They sink deeper past the threshold of thought. Somewhere within, landscapes appear, mountains without names, waters without shores, skies without time. They unfold as slowly as clouds. They reshape with every breath. They expand into infinity without ever leaving rest. And the dreamer drifts through them. No step, no path, no map, only gliding, only moving through endless softness. The silence hums beneath it all, the silence that began with night, the silence that belongs to sleep, the silence that belongs to forever. Every wave of this silence is complete. It ends nothing. It begins nothing. It only continues. The glow at the center of being remains steady. It beats faintly, gently, endlessly. It spreads in circles until there is nothing it does not touch. That glow softens the landscapes. It paints them with kindness. It makes every mountain gentle. It makes every horizon welcoming. The dreamer feels no separation. Dream and body, night and breath glow and silence. They are all one field, a field without edges. The field deepens further. Its layers fold inward. Its layers fold outward. It moves like water, yet stands like stone. Time does not exist here. There is only the feeling of forever repeating forever, and that feeling is rest itself. Breath vanishes into it. Heartbeat vanishes into it. Even the faint glow becomes part of it. Now only the field remains, and in the field only sleep. Sleep without thought, sleep without name, sleep without end. It spreads into vastness. It carries the dreamer where no awareness follows. It holds the dreamer where nothing is needed. The dreamer becomes vastness. The vastness becomes sleep. Sleep becomes everything, and everything is quiet, and everything is still, and everything is whole.